It's 1992. We're in my dad's car driving to my school with my parents. It's not good. I'm going there not because I won an award for being the smartest kid in class or won the first prize in a spelling bee contest, and neither were we going there because I got into a fight. We are going there because I'm dumb. My dad's not coming in. He finds it too difficult to be part of the negotiation that is about to happen. Only Mom was brave enough to face the principal. The fact is, I was not brave enough to go there as well, but I had to. This is so embarrassing. In Singapore, there are 3 levels: gifted, express, and normal stream. You see, we are going there to meet my principal to request, to plead, to beg if we can move me from the normal stream to the express stream. Now, don't be fooled by the terminology. Express stream really means the normal stream, and the normal stream really means it's for the idiots like me. That would mean instead of taking 5 years for secondary school, I would save an entire year and move that to 4 years. In other words, I'm currently at the bottom level of the 3. You see, I had just performed well enough to be at the borderline of moving to the express stream. 1% short, in fact. Because previously I had screwed up my primary 6 or primary school leaving exams. I failed in math and Chinese. I mean, which Chinese fails in math and Chinese? First, you have to know why performance beyond the bedroom is such a big deal in Singapore. In my home country, Singapore, performance is everything. You see, we take pride in being number 1 in everything. Number 1 airport, number 1 in the economy, number 1 in life expectancy, number 1 in education, number 1 even in the queue for Hello Kitty. You see, in Singapore, kids do homework from like 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Kids go to extracurricular class even on weekends and have no time to date. I even saw a 5-year-old girl printed on a school uniform that says on the back, "Pride in performance." We are now seated in Mrs. Ng's office. The scent of sweaty schoolboys masked with talcum powder lingers. Mom starts the conversation. Mom is the engaging type of person, and somehow everyone I've seen her speak with warms up to her in less than a minute. She's doing a great job with Mrs. Ng. As she chats with my mom, she turns to me ever so often, sizing me up and down. I don't like her. I can tell she doesn't like me too. So my husband and I are wondering if you can help move our son to the express stream as his results are so close to meeting the grade, says my mom. The answer is no. But if you really want to, I can help you, says the principal. Okay. Mrs. Ng looks to my mom and she says, all you need to do is donate to the school. And my mom jumps in and she asks, how much? Well, as you know, we are raising funds for the school building project. No, I cut her off. She looks at me up and down again. I mean, look at his hair, she says. To be fair, I had hair as big as Jimi Hendrix at that time and it looks kind of strange on a Chinese boy. But what has my hair got to do with this anyway? Even though I had 2 older sisters, which meant that I had 3 mothers, and had been indecisive for so long in my life, for the first time, I knew what my decision was. No, I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous. Fine, I'll stay an extra year. I had no idea that this decision had such a huge impact on me and the rest of my life, But my mom turns to me and says something rather surprising that only made sense to me much later in my life. More on that at the end of this episode. So I went on to do an extra year of secondary school, 3 years of polytechnic education, and nearly got an early PhD, which meant polytechnic halfway dropout. Then I went to the army for 2.5 years, which means by now I'm 2.5 years plus 1 behind from my female counterparts. You see, I spent half of my life lost in an education system that pushed for results and performance and failed. Even when I began to perform well in my undergraduate years and so on, to be honest, I really wasn't learning. I was more concerned about performing. Even when I was practicing as a psychologist in 2004 and started using measures to guide my practice, I was still harping about how am I performing. The questions about how effective am I still lingers on with concerns about that. Well, turns out that when I allowed myself to self-direct my learning journey, use measures as a signpost, and not get stuck with the numbers, when I took learning into my own hands, things began to change. When I first began analyzing my outcomes around 2007, honestly, I was still focused about my performance. I realized I was still stuck in the old story of performing, like the old story I had in my growing up years in the education system. I only realized about 5 years ago that a paradox is at play. When I focus on performing, I might not be learning. In fact, it impedes learning. But when I focused instead on learning, I might not reap the immediate results, but in the long run, the big payoff happens. An emphasis on performance can paradoxically rob the chance for deep learning. I want you to become a deep learner that take learning into your own hands, that reap actual results for your clients. I believe that a good life is a deep life. Its prerequisite is really to become a deep learner. So that's why we've created the Deep Learner web-based course that's about to happen on 30th March 2020. I want to help you become a deep learner who is able to do alchemy that transform content into information, information into understanding, and understanding into wisdom in the therapy room. I will take you behind the scenes and unveil personalized learning systems that I've iterated and developed over the past 15 years in order to extend your mind and, more importantly, translate what you learned into clinical practice. A deep learner is able to tap into the powerful cutting-edge science of how we learn best, create a virtuous learning system that pushes you to your growth edge, and connect the dots and not just collect the dots. Some of the benefits for the Deep Learner Workshop is that it arms you and helps you sustain a professional development to become the best therapist, or rather the best version of yourself. Second is also to help you embrace a wide array of knowledge and, more importantly, use what you've learned to apply them to a larger percentage of people in your practice. Well, what a deep learner is not. It's not a bag of tricks. It's not a theoretical online course. It's not pre-recorded lectures and a poor substitute of face-to-face learning. And it's also not content without community. So if you're interested to join us, we kick off on 30th March 2020. And if you are a subscriber to the Frontiers of Psychotherapist Development list, send us your promo code that you might get in the March newsletter. It's in there. If not, write to me and we'll make sure that you get the promo code that entitles you to a 27% discount for this course. It's a lifetime access. It's not a membership payment. Every update that you get, you will also receive the update for no extra cost. There's also bonus materials in there for your use. Simply go to darylchow.com. That's DARYLCHOW.com/courses, COURSES. darylchild.com. So, back to the principal's office. My mom knew something that took me years to learn, and she said this to Mrs. Ng at that time, and she said, maybe Daryl's a late bloomer. Maybe we all are redwoods and not weeds. Maybe we all need the permission to be a late bloomer. Maybe all deep learning takes time, because to become a deep learner, it's gonna take a slow brew. We just need to set the directions right. Deep learning.